Hey guys, Scott Adams here. You're probably asking yourself, why in the world does Scott have on black latex gloves and sitting on a green egg? Well, we thought this week, instead of you taking 3 days of classes in school, one of those days we'd make it fun. Today we're gonna learn how to make a Boston butt on the green egg. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the egg apart. As you can see, I cook on it a little bit. It's pretty seasoned. So I peel everything out. This is a deflection plate. It's very key to making the butt. It's how you can cook it slow all day. And then I just take the old charcoal that's in there and just kind of stir it up. Grab some new. I always recommend the best green egg charcoal. Works best for me. Look at the size of that. And then from there, it takes a while for these things to get going, so I bought one of these. It's also good when your kids don't want to homeschool. You can get that thing pretty hot and, you know, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Plug her in, open up the bottom vent all the way so oxygen's flowing through there. Now we're gonna go inside, prepare our Boston butt. Seasons, my favorite part. One of the key points to barbecuing, cooking on an egg, smoker, you gotta look the part, which is obviously why I have on the camouflage hat. I know you guys probably all noticed that, and gotta have a camouflage hat to start with. Second key thing, I always, when I'm messing around with any kind of poultry or beef or pork, I always like to open the lids up to everything I'm gonna use first, so I'm not having to fiddle with it as little as possible. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the oil all over it, get it nice and basted so that the seasoning will stick to it. I'm using Billy's Badass Seasoning. That's the industry's very own Billy Harris. And I'm using C5 Farms Boston butt that I bought from my good friends out at C5 Farms about 2 weeks ago. So this thing's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna cook it for about 6 to 7 hours on 250 degrees today. Here we go, let's do the oil first. Again, I got this from my friends at C5 Farms, so this thing's farm to table, not bought at a grocery store. And I always like to get plenty of oil on them when I'm doing them because it'll make this seasoning that Billy Harris from Ventive makes, or Seatrong, whichever one you want to call it. He's a good old South Carolina boy, born in a soybean field in South Carolina. You can see I base this really good with it, or just sprinkle it really good, get it thick. And then one of the things that I like to do when I do it is I kind of mash that sauce in there so it doesn't kind of come off the dry. Get it all good. Try and get the sides. Then flip that bad boy over, get the ends, and then all over here. Kind of go back and forth. Oh, it's gonna make me sneeze. It's got a lot of pepper in it. Billy likes to make it spicy, so if you don't like spicy, it's not that bad actually. It's really good. So there you go. And now that that's done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you one of the Adams secret ingredients to making great Boston butts that cook for hours and hours on a green egg. And I don't ever share this, so this is a pretty big secret. My grandfather probably would not be happy I'm about to share this, but here we go. You get yourself one of these tins. I'm gonna just move this stuff out of the way. And I like to use distilled vinegar, and I just pour it into this pan. About that much. And then cranberry juice. White vinegar and cranberry juice. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on that deflection plate out there underneath the meat, and it'll steam up into that meat the whole time that it's cooking for those 6 hours. And it just makes it so moist and it just bastes into the meat. So that's it, that's prep. Now we're gonna go put it on the egg. Here we go. So here's what makes the green egg absolutely the green egg and helps with cooking one of these things at a low temperature all day and keeps it from burning, because it takes the heat from being directly under it to circulating inside of this ceramic egg. So I'm gonna put this deflection plate back down in there. Ooh, that's hot. And then from there, I'm going to take the Adam's secret to making a Boston butt and put it right on that deflection plate, just like that. And then we take the grill, where we're gonna put the meat on in just a little bit, and we get it positioned just like so. And now, here's how you control the temperature on this bad boy. We're gonna close it up because I'm gonna get my temperature right, and the way that the green egg works is you move this, and then there's a vent at the bottom, and the air that's in there is what allows the temperature to go up and down. So I'm gonna take it pretty close to closed up here and close it majorly down here to about that much open. And then what I'm hoping to do, see the temperature's already, because it's been open, already up to 300 degrees. I wanna get it right around 250 and hold it right there. So we're gonna let that sit for a few minutes, and then we'll be back out and we'll put the Boston butt on there. So my temperature is a little high right now, but because I want it at 250, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the meat on there because the temperature of that meat will bring some of that temperature down inside of there, and then we'll start our 6-hour jaunt. As you can hear in the background, possibly the dogs behind me are going crazy. They know when I'm cooking on the egg. So we're just gonna take it, set it right over the top of that tin with the cranberry and white vinegar in there, and close this thing up, and we don't have to do anything else for 6 hours. So time to go do some Zoom calls. So this bad boy's been on for about 5.5 hours, and at that point is when I like to come out and put the sauce on. We are using the Billy's Badass sauce. I just always like to put it in a cup because it's easier to get the brush and to get it onto the butt. So you can see that that thing's been smoking for quite a while. We're gonna just lather this thing on, just pour it on there. Just like that. And I'll do this process probably 3 or 4 times before we take it off over the next hour to 2 hours. And that'll cook that sauce right in there and give it a nice crisp glaze on the top. So we'll let her go back to cooking. You can see that concoction I got underneath just steaming up into there. It's perfect, it smells delicious. Too bad you guys can't smell through the video. Anyways, we'll be back to finish her up. So it's been cooking for about 8 hours. You can see it's nighttime out, and I've just got it off of here. I just took it off the egg. I'll give you kind of a good look at it. That thing is glazed so nice. It's gonna be just so tender. But now what I wanna do is take this tin foil, wrap it up. I'm gonna let it sit for probably a good hour to 2 hours and just kind of get nice and juicy inside. And then once that's done, I'll shred it up and it'll be ready to eat. So there's your 2-minute drill for this Friday. Join me next week when I teach you how to make cheesecake. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna teach you how to make cheesecake. You guys have a great weekend.